Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, an idea from an Australian company that could literally slash the cost of solar in half. And yet, a shift that big, it could reshape our entire energy landscape. All right, let's just jump right in with a big question. We all know solar is getting cheaper, right? But it's not cheap enough. So what if the biggest thing holding solar back, the one thing keeping it from being dirt cheap, is something the entire industry has just, well, completely missed? And here's the kicker. According to this Australian company, Green Energy Systems, the whole industry has been chasing the wrong problem. It's not about making better, more efficient panels. No, they're saying the real problem is a fundamentally broken construction process. Okay, so let's dig into this. What is this hidden problem? We're about to uncover the real bottleneck in solar energy. And trust me, it's probably not what you're thinking. So here's the paradox, right? The actual solar panels, the inverters, that tech is getting incredibly cheap. So why isn't a giant solar farm cheaper? Well, the problem isn't the tech, it's the process. Think about it. Building a solar farm today is still a massive, messy, super complex construction project. And that's where all the money goes.
And this really gets to the heart of the issue, a clash between two totally different ways of thinking about how we build things.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got the construction project mindset. This is a chaotic dance of thousands of individual parts, literally millions of bolts and clamps, and huge crews of people working out in a field in the dirt and the sun. But then, on the other hand, you've got manufacturing. It's precise, it's efficient, it's scalable. It's how we build everything from cars to iPhones. It happens in a clean, controlled factory, and that's the key difference. And this is the whole idea in a nutshell. Construction sites just don't scale well. You can't just double the workers and get double the output. It gets messy. But factories? Factories are built to scale. This one simple but honestly profound idea, that's the key to unlocking huge cost savings in solar.
All right, so this brings us to the solution from Green Energy Systems. It's a whole new approach they're calling solar waves, and it really does change the entire game.
So what exactly is solar waves? Well, first off, it's not a new type of solar panel. It's a whole new system. The big idea here is to turn a giant solar array into something more like a factory-finished appliance. You know, like your refrigerator. The panels, the structure, the wiring, it's all put together and integrated back at the factory. And this is the absolute game changer. Instead of getting a shipping container packed with a million little parts that have to be assembled on site, you get a fully functional, pre-tested solar appliance. It just shows up ready to go. Now this is where it gets really fascinating. This whole system was designed from day one with a pretty radical philosophy. It was built for robots, not for people. And that changes absolutely everything.
I mean, think about it. To make something a robot can build, you have to make it simple, super simple. You can't have a robot fumbling around with tiny screws in a dusty field. So what did they do? They got rid of all of it. No bolts, no clamps, no screws.
So, how does it actually work then? Well, it's this really clever, patented, all-aluminum system where everything just slides together. The main structure gets aligned, the panels slide right into the frame, and then the robots come in and lock it all into place. It's simple, it's crazy fast, and it's designed specifically for machines.
This idea of an integrated design it's a huge deal. You know, with traditional solar, you have all these layers. You've got the panel, which sits on a subframe, which then sits on another structure. It's parts on top of parts. But with solar waves, it's all one thing. The panel's frame is the structure. It's a lot like what Tesla's doing with its structural battery packs and gigacasting. When you get rid of parts and integrate everything, the final product ends up being lighter, stronger, and way more efficient to build.
Okay, but here's where the story takes a really cool turn. The benefits here don't just stop at saving money. This unique design actually unlocks a bunch of new capabilities, things that were just impossible with old-school solar.
The secret is that because all the panels are physically connected, they don't act like a bunch of individual units anymore. Instead, they form one big, continuous surface. Basically, it behaves just like a giant roof.
So that begs the question, right? What can you do with a giant, solid, waterproof roof sitting out in the middle of a field? Turns out, the possibilities are pretty amazing.
Yeah, a lot, as it turns out. For starters, it can collect rainwater, which you can then use for irrigating crops growing right underneath it. That's a practice called agrivoltaics, growing food and generating power on the very same piece of land. It can also be used to cover canals to stop water from evaporating, which is a huge deal in dry places. And it can even clean itself automatically. And that self-cleaning part is brilliant. The system literally uses the rainwater it collects to wash the panels. This keeps them running at about 95% efficiency long-term, all without needing to send out expensive maintenance crews to clean them.
And this isn't just a cool idea on paper. It's actually being looked at for real-world projects. Take California's Project Nexus, for example. They're exploring using solar waves to cover their massive water canals. See, traditional solar systems are way too heavy and clunky for curved infrastructure like that, but the lightweight, modular design of solar waves, it's a perfect fit.
Okay, let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture here. If this approach really takes off and scales up, what does it actually mean for the future of energy? I think this quote just nails it perfectly. Solar stops being a construction project and becomes manufactured energy infrastructure. This is the fundamental shift. Solar power becomes a product that rolls off an assembly line, not something painstakingly built piece by piece in a field. And that changes everything, from the cost to how fast we can deploy it.
So let's just quickly recap the key takeaways here. First, this system was designed for 100% automation right from the very beginning. It's built on first principles thinking, which just means they reimagine the whole problem from scratch to get rid of complexity. The result? It turns solar into an appliance, reduces cost, and means it can be shipped in a standard container, installed in a matter of days, and even be relocated or recycled when it's done. That's a huge deal.
And all this leaves us with one last, really powerful question to think about. What happens when our energy infrastructure isn't built, but is manufactured, just like a car? The answer to that question could seriously accelerate the global energy transition and honestly, reshape our world.